Ne abbiamo parlato circa un anno fa, quando allora ci chiamavamo Indieforbunnies, oggi for Indieforbunnies. Parliamo con Youth Party with a Die, siamo con Becky, cantante, e Krista, tastierista. How's it going, guys?
Hi.
Hi. your voice not so good at the moment. Okay, we wrote an article about you almost 1 year ago, when here in Italy your music wasn't so known. What has changed in almost 1 year?
Well, we've gone on tour a lot, pretty much constantly all this year, so we've collected quite a number of new fans along the way, and just really, been working really hard.
Yeah.
You were making so much tour around the States and around Europe in 1 year. What about this? So many dates, many cities in so few time.
It just sort of came up every time there was an opportunity. We said yes, we want to do it. We just grabbed every chance we could to go on tour, especially to come to Europe. We really love touring over here.
This is your second time in Italy, because you were.
Yes.
This is your first time in Rome playing.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. You were touring with many bands, and there is one particular that you had a good memory touring with them.
Yeah, Controller.
Yeah.
They're from Toronto, and we toured twice with them, and really became great friends with them, and just kind of felt like going on tour with family on the second tour was really nice. So they're no longer a band. They actually the singer left, and so it was really nice that we got to tour with them one last time before they ended.
You were touring also with Yeah.
No, we just did a one-off show in Vienna. Yeah.
How was with them?
That was awesome.
Yeah?
Really, really awesome.
They really so famous here in Italy, especially in this period.
Yeah, she's a great performer, and it was really cool just to get to meet them and play a show with them.
Okay. Let's start talking with a band. How the band was born?
How the band was born? It was about 3 years ago, and we just kind of all knew each other from, like, Becky and Steve worked together. Becky and I went to high school together, although we didn't become friends till later. And it just sort of came to be when, in the winter time, because there's not a lot to do, like it's too cold to do stuff outside and everything, and rains a lot where we're from. So we just started doing this just for something fun to do, making music and doing shows, and it sort of took off from there.
And what about the name?
You
Say Party with a Die.
Yeah, You Say Party with a Die was a song that we wrote. It was one of the first songs, and we really liked the idea of getting crowd participation, the whole chanting back and forth thing going. So You Say Party, We Say Die was really a good chant, and we wanted to keep that going, even if the song didn't keep going. So we just kind of came up with it, and it stuck.
Okay. You coming from Vancouver, and what about this city? 2 weeks ago we were interviewed with the Deers, and we were talking about Montreal.
Yeah.
Differences between Vancouver and Montreal, and because Montreal seems to be a really great indie rock scene right now. What about Vancouver?
Well, Vancouver is really separated from the rest of Canada, because in between Toronto and Montreal and Vancouver, there's so much empty space, right? So we're kind of isolated from the Canadian scene in that way. But there is a lot of great music in Vancouver. It's just not as well known internationally.
So one of the most influences of your music is punk. What your relationship with this music was? The band you were listening to is just for the rhythm, or also for the lyrics of the punk, in general?
Well, I think a lot of us grew up listening to a lot of punk, especially Devin and Derek. And then as far as my lyrics go, I just kind of write whatever is in my head. I'm never really trying to be like anyone or sound like anything else. I just kind of I've always kept a book and I've always written, and I use
The way it's born, everything. Okay.
yeah, so just from me.
Do you guys listening some electro punk or punk funk bands right now? There is some bands you like that play close to your music.
Similar genre. I don't know. I guess. Well, we just played with CSS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so.
Are they good from? Yeah, they coming from Brazil. They.
Yeah, they're a lot more like electro, like
more electro.
yeah, they're not quite as punk.
Yeah.
But let's see.
We really listen to like music that's not like us quite
yeah?
a bit,
Okay.
especially driving around in the van. Like
So much time for listening.
so much time to listen to music, and we all have really varying tastes. Like we have like a lot of different things between the five of us, and so we listen to like anything from post rock to grunge to like old punk rock to like pop and country and like
The last best album you will listen to?
last best album.
We've actually been listening to Love Is All from Sweden quite a bit. They're a band at the moment that I guess kind of be put into the same genre as us. They're really great. We listen to a lot of Sonic Youth. Every album was Sonic Youth basically. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the album Hit the Floor. It came out like 1 year ago in Canada, in the States, and Pitchfork like it so much. It's so strange to make them happy about music. Did you expect this from Pitchfork in general, from people that like this album?
We did not expect that at all from Pitchfork. I think Becky and I didn't even know what Pitchfork was before.
I was getting excited that we were on Pitchfork, and I'm like, what's Pitchfork?
Pitchfork. And but to get such a good review from them and have a lot of people talking about it was really exciting. Like.
Okay. So what about the processing process? No, sorry, for the sound and recording process of the album. How this sound is born in studio?
It really evolved in the studio. Our producer Sean Cole really helped us shape the album because we didn't really know what we wanted when we went into the studio, and it really just sort of I don't know, how would you describe it?
Yeah, it just kind of was born in the studio. I don't think any of us had a clear idea of what our sound was until we heard the album played back to us, and it kind of something clicked.
I remember listening to some of the songs and being like, "Oh my God, that's us!" Like I could hardly believe it.